All right, Monday afternoon, 4:30. It is crazy warm in Chicago. I'm wearing just shorts. But today, still kind of recovering from the half marathon over the weekend, so legs are a little bit groggy. Thought today would be a good day to do a little bit of a race recap. So as I was approaching race day for the After Winter Half Marathon, there was just a lot of uncertainty. Now last year, I'd run it with my running buddy in costumes because we thought, hey, it's a winter half marathon in Chicago. Let's have a little bit of a sense of humor about it. So we thought we'd give that a shot. And if there's ever a time to run in a costume in a race of any sort of distance, winter is probably the best time because it doesn't matter if you have an extra layer on. But this year my running buddy's injured. He's got a stress fracture in his heel. So it's just me by myself. And I was originally gonna run it in a costume still. I had bought one online earlier that week and paid extra to have it shipped quickly to reach me on time for the race. But it was supposed to arrive Friday night. Race was on Saturday. Friday, package just didn't come. So by like 9 or 10 o'clock, when I was certain the package wouldn't arrive, I just realized that I was gonna run in what was gonna be unseasonably warm weather, 40 degrees for the projected high, and by myself. So I thought there's no excuse not to try to at least run it hard and get close to my PR from last year, which was in the fall. And so as I was approaching Soldier Field where the race started and ended, I was thinking to myself that if I can get 145 or in the 144s, which my previous PR was 144, 48, 42, something like that, I thought 145 or 144 would be a really good showing for a winter half marathon. And then I kind of whispered to myself, and if I could get in the 140 range, I'd be ecstatic. I'm thinking I might shoot for like 142, which would be a PR for me. Maybe even more, we'll see. The morning of the race, I got to the race extra early because the Women's March was being held in Chicago to protest Donald Trump and his administration. And so it wasn't going to interfere with the race route, but I was worried that everyone wanting to get downtown would make getting an Uber very difficult. So I ended up getting to the race at like a little bit after 8 o'clock, even though the race didn't start till about 10. So I had a lot of time to kill, which was unusual for me. And I just don't do good when there's a lot of nervous energy around. I get caught up in it. I find it very draining. And so I was worried that that was going to be a big negative on my performance. But then eventually the race did start, and I was worried because even though it was almost 40 degrees, I had tights and shorts on and then just a thick long sleeve shirt on top with a hat and then some thicker gloves. And as I was walking out to the starting corrals, I was really cold. I was shivering. So when I started up on the race, this race, there's no like corral or like seating that they do. Kind of just honor system. And I lined up in between the hour 40 pace group and the hour 50 pace group, thinking that would get me right at 145, which would be close to PR or better. But as I started heading out the gate through the first mile, I found myself closer to the 140 than the 150, and then I decided by around mile 2 that I wanted to catch up to that group and just kind of find a pack to run in, and that was the nearest large pack that I could find. So I figured I would try to run with that group and stay with them as long as I could and just see kind of how that felt. And the idea was that, you know, if I could just stay with the group and do whatever the group's doing, I don't have to worry if I'm going too fast or too slow, and hopefully I can carry just some momentum from the group and let the group carry me a little bit. I never really tried that before in the race, but this ended up working out really great. And also, I had recently watched the video by Ben Barrows, who just ran the Houston Half Marathon, and he was talking about he wasn't running by pace necessarily, you know, like what was on his watch, but he was running by effort. And so he said that he ended up having a really good race just by listening to his body and feeling what the good effort was. And so I was kind of trying to channel that energy, and you know, I kept with the 140 pace group for a while, and I eventually caught up to it, and I was in it. And then around the 5 mile marker, there's some construction going on along the Lakeshore Drive path, and we had to go through some mud, and I just ended up, when I cut through the mud, I ended up being suddenly a lot farther ahead of the pace group. And so I decided I would just go for it and keep going and maintain what felt like a brisk effort, nothing that would make me feel nervous or panicked, but something that definitely felt a little bit fast, but something that I thought I could maintain at least for another, you know, 5 miles or so. And so I was thinking that if I could get to the 10 mile marker at a brisk pace, at the 140 pace or better, and keep putting distance between me and the 140 group, that regardless of what happened over the last 5K, I would consider that a victory. Along the way, saw a whole bunch of people, some familiar faces that I've seen along the lakefront at other races. I think I saw Daddy Did You Win? I know I saw Alana Runs 26.2 and Jamie Hirschfang, who was the ultimate winner for the women's division. And then I saw also Charles Gonzalez right at the turn, which is at the 7 mile mark. And then I saw my 10 mile time was like in 1:17 or 1:18, something like that. I just couldn't believe it, because that meant I was around 1:15 for the 10 mile mark. And I think my PR for a 10 mile race is like 1:18. So I was pretty surprised by that. And then with 5K left, that's when I just let it out and decided I would keep going, just pick it up a little bit. And I was shooting for, at that point, actually trying to keep my pace under 7 minutes, or around the 7 minutes to 7:10 per mile.
All right, so then I made it towards, I was able to maintain everything. I was slowly like just picking people off as I was going through. Everyone was pretty far spread out at that point and kind of running by themselves. And I wasn't like necessarily trying to chase people down, but I found kind of like as I passed one person, I used as motivation to try and get to like the next person. And I did that until I got to like mile 12 and a half. I could start seeing like Soldier Field again, and I felt like I was getting close. And this camera is like tilting. And I was getting close to the finish line. And then as I approached the finish, it was like a really strange feeling. I felt like I was the only one in the race, and I've never like really had that feeling before. And as I was coming down the chute, I felt like all eyes were looking on me. I've since like looked back at that footage, and no one was actually looking at me. Everyone was looking like behind me to see if like their people were coming. But it was just really crowded, and I just felt like a unique feeling like I never felt before. And I finished strong, and it was an indescribable feeling. I haven't felt that good after a race ever. It was just amazing. After a couple of minutes, it's amazing how fast these things update. I was able to see that my final time was 1:34.54. And originally I wasn't even going to go to the after party. I wasn't going to go because I'd gone to the race by myself this time. And I thought it'd be kind of like weird to just go like drink by myself. But I was just feeling so good that I thought I'd go for it. I felt in a celebratory mood, so I thought I would go. And it was a good beer. But yeah, that's the race recap. A really great race. You know, all the stars aligned for me. I am well aware that you don't really get a lot of race days like this, and I'm really trying to enjoy it, soak it all in, and just feel good about myself, and proud of how I've done. and I'm feeling great. And thanks to everyone that's been offering me congratulations and kind words, Strava, Instagram, and here on YouTube after the race video posted yesterday. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support. It really means a lot to me, and it helps me keep going. And yeah, so stay tuned, hit the subscribe button to keep track of me and where I'm going, and we can go on this journey and see where it takes us together.
Yo, what's going on?